Next up, we're going to be creating products, and while we'll be able to add them via the dashboard, we're also going to learn how to actually add data from the front end of our actual SickFits application. So the sort of the process of adding a new piece of data is very much the same. Now that we have Keystone set up, we have auth done. We don't have roles and permissions done yet, but now every time you want to add a new piece of data, it's pretty much the same approach. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to our schemas folder, make a new file. Let's call it capital P product.js. No, .ts. See, that's what 3 times I've done it. Now, next up, what we want to do is export const. We'll make it a product. And that is a list. Let's see, can we auto import that list? Boom, sure can. All right, inside that list, we have, we'll say to do access. So we'll say access is that. We'll comment that out for now, just because we don't have that yet. And then we have fields. So what fields do we want? Well, we want that product is going to have a name, which is text. And it is, well, we got to import text. Yep. Boom. Ooh, that one auto imported. Good. I don't know what it is. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's getting better. Is it required? Yes, it is. What else do we got here? We have the description. And that is also text. And the not is required. That's not, we don't have to pass that one because it's not, but we do have to pass some information about the UI. And the UI is display mode is going to be, whoops. Look at that, input or text area. By default, it's input, but we can also set it to text area. That's another really nice thing about TypeScript is like, how did I know that? I didn't even have to go to the docs for that. I didn't have to check what the spelling of this was. I simply just like, I think it's the description or display mode. Get that, boom. And what are my options? Oh, text area. I'm off to the races. Okay, so we got our name, our description. We also are going to have a status drop down, but let's make sure this is just working for now. So let's go into our keystone.js. Let's go to our lists where we already have our user, and we'll duplicate that and say product. Boom. And so we have our product here. Did it auto import? It sure did. We got a bit of a red underline. Let's deal with that right now. Import should occur after Keystone. Okay, that's fine. Usually it fixes itself, but we'll move it down there and that fixes it. Okay. Maybe we need to, there we go. Reorder them for it to be happy. Okay. And then we can restart this sucker. And we should see products in the sidebar with the fields that we've got so far. There we go. Products. You can create a product, name, description. So let's just say test. This is a test product. Go ahead and create it. Boom. And we'll go to our products. There we go. But we need more than that, than just name and description. We need a status because sometimes you want to be working on adding a product, but you don't want it to show up on the front end until it is, right? So we can say the status is going to be a select box. So let's try import the select box. Did that work? Yes, it did. Inside of that, we have options, which is an array. And each of those is an object that has a label of draft and a value of draft, all caps. And then duplicate that. We'll call it available. And I just like to do this transform uppercase, little shortcut in VS Code. And then here we'll just call it unavailable and put an un in front of there. We can give it a default value of draft. And let's see where that gets us. There's a couple more options we can give it, but I just like to see the basics of it running. All right, it's running. So click through to this one. There we go. I got our status, draft available, unavailable. And other possible options that we have is we can have a couple more UI options here. Say display mode, it could be equal to a select box, which it is, or segmented control. And then you can also hide it from the create view. So if you click on here, create product, if you wanted to have like a nice quick create view, you can just hide specific items from here. Because I don't know, maybe there's 100 fields in it. You just want to quickly create a product and then go in to this UI while you do it. And the way that we can do that is we say create view is equal to field mode is hidden. You can see what all the possible options are: edit or hidden. It's pretty simple. We honestly, we aren't using that all that much because we're going to be doing most of the data from the front end of our React application. But I thought I would show you that just because it's neat to know that Keystone has such fine-grained control over this whole admin UI. So last thing we need here is a price, which is an integer. And that auto imported as well. Look at that, it auto imports it from the fields. And then we will to do photo. We're gonna add a photo, but that's gonna be a relationship. So we'll come back to that in the next video. So kill your build, restart it again. And you see how we get this like status? This is like a nice little segmented control instead. You can just quickly change it from one to another. And then the price, I'm gonna add, one thing about this course is we are doing prices in cents. I always do my prices in cents for whenever I do something. So if it's $24, it's 2,400 cents. That allows us to never have to deal with decimals or rounding issues or anything like that. You simply just give it a nice that's called an integer versus a float, which would have a decimal. So available, go ahead and save changes, go back to our products. We have our name and our status. And now if we click create product, you see how that, what was this field called? The status field is not showing up in this create view. That's because we have set the create view to field mode of hidden. It only shows up when we get there. All right, so don't create too many products yet because both I have dummy data for you. And also we're gonna have to talk about uploading images in the next video.